all those things have come true. And this Grammy nomination is just another one of those dreams.
And that is Jenee Fleenor, our guest on this week's edition of Conversations from Studio 5. Not only is she a singer and songwriter, she also plays the mandolin, acoustic guitar, and the fiddle. Her work has earned her a walk on the red carpet at the 2026 Grammy Awards. So, is this your first Grammy nomination?
This is my first Grammy nomination.
How does it feel?
It feels amazing. The day that I found out, I was actually at a songwriters festival, the Frank Brown Songwriters Festival in Gulf Shores, Alabama, a legendary festival. And I was driving around in this car with actually Marcus Hyatt, who worked on the Isaacs record.
Okay.
And that was his first Grammy nominated project I think he'd worked on. And I showed him the text, and I just started screaming and crying and rolled down the window and started telling everybody outside, "I'm for Grammy, y'all." So yeah, it feels pretty good.
Nice. And it is for Best Country Song.
Yeah.
And you have written this, and this is performed by none other than Miranda Lambert and Chris Stapleton.
That's correct, yeah.
How does it feel that they're the voices to
man.
bring your words to life?
I tell you what, amazing. And you know, this is a first for me in so many ways. I played fiddle, and a lot of people know me just for my fiddle playing.
Yes.
And a lot of people didn't know I did songwriting. And I've done that for so many years. But so I guess it's just a little feather, well, a big feather in my cap. But I've known Miranda for years and Chris for years. And it was actually Jesse Frazier, the other writer on the song, who we had been doing track writing. He invited me to a studio, and we wrote a bunch of tracks. And then he would invite writers. He works with Miranda and Stapleton and everything, and to write to these tracks. So that's actually how it happened. And a lot of the melodies in the song, they took those and ran with them. And so one day, Miranda FaceTimed me and Jesse, and they said, "Guess what? Stapleton just came over and co-wrote to this song." And I mean, I couldn't believe it. And they sent it to me, and I listened to it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this could be a really big thing." And of course, it didn't get released till maybe a year and a half later. So you're just sitting there around waiting, going, I don't know if this is going to happen. Like, because you hear rumblings of, they cut the song, but then it didn't come out. And so, and I've had that happen where a song gets cut, of course, and it just never comes out. So, but it did come out, and here we are. So,
not only did it come out, but it's got lots of attention.
Yeah.
Do you recall the first time hearing it after?
The first time hearing it, I do. Oh, you know what? It was on this. I listened to the Stapleton channel on XM.
Wow.
And I'm a big fan of that channel. And that was the first time I heard it. I think I was by myself in my car. And to get to hear it, I'm sure there's a video on Instagram somewhere.
I'm going to look for that.
I keep people well informed on there. Yeah.
Nice. How long would you say, in earnest, you've been in the country music game?
Oh, well, I guess professionally, since I was about 19. I moved to Nashville right out of high school. I went to Belmont and in 2001, and I toured with the bluegrass band for a while, Larry Cordell and Lonesome Standard Time, and then not long after that, I got a job with Terry Clark. And so that was my first big country gig. I played the Opry, I think, a month or so after, maybe 2 weeks to a month after moving to Nashville.
Wow.
So it was pretty crazy. Like, it took off pretty fast. And, looking back, it just goes by so fast. But as far as loving country music and everything, I mean, look at me. I've been a hillbilly for a long time. Yeah.
Arkansas is home?
Springdale, Arkansas.
What is it about country music that draws you and makes you come alive?
Well, for me, starting playing violin, and then when I was 3 and started fiddling when I was 5, being from Arkansas, it's what I heard on the radio. Mom's dream for me was actually to be a classical violinist and go to Juilliard, and I heard the Grand Ole Opry. I think I want to do that. And I heard Bob Wills and Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson, and all those things drew me in. And I would I listened to country radio, so all the stories of those were the stories of my life. So, and I would hear the fiddle in the background, and I was like, someday I dream of hearing my fiddle on the radio. And my big dream was to be a session musician in Nashville. So all those things have come true. And this Grammy nomination is just another one of those dream come true moments, I guess.
I love it. What is it about the fiddle that attracts you?
Well, Mom and Dad made me. That's really how it happened.
Okay.
So kids, do what your parents tell you. That's, they saw some little kids in the paper. I really think it was a God thing. Mm-hmm. I know it was a God thing. Mm-hmm. And they saw these kids in the paper and just signed me up with violin lessons, just like you'd sign your kid up with the cheerleading or dance or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I took the Suzuki. It's a Japanese classical method of training. Mm-hmm. And they were so good. They came to every lesson probably up until I was 12 years old, and would take notes and would go home and do things by the book, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I played my first recital when I was like maybe 3.5 or 4. Wow. And and the teachers would tell my mom and dad, said, she's really good, and please don't let her stop doing this. So I really owe it to them, because at 3 years old, you don't know what you want to do with your life. Wow. But it was country radio in the studio that when I was 11 that I remember saying, I want to go to Nashville someday and try to make it, I guess. So, yeah.
What do the parents think of the success?
It's been fun. My dad sadly passed when I was in high school, but he was just so proud. I've so many stories that people tell me. He would stand in the back of the room with the big old camcorder, and just say how he was smiling. Oh. And I know he's watching me from heaven. And but Mom, I was texting her on the way here, and she's so excited and always wanting to know what I'm wearing. So anyway, it's just, I don't know. It's just been such a blessing, and I don't know. It's I'm sure she's just a proud mama.
Nice. Just mention a couple people you've managed to work with. Vince Gill.
I have worked with Vince Gill, yeah.
What comes to mind when I say that name for you?
Oh my gosh, hero, for sure. Definitely, it seems like growing up, a lot of my heroes were Vince Gill and Ricky Skaggs and Steve Wariner, and these people that played their instruments so well and sang so well. So those people always drew me in. And Vince, actually, he came out and played with, I have an all-star bluegrass band, and he came out on stage and performed with us not too long ago. So I was nervous. I was so nervous. I said I took to the bed because I was so nervous. I love him.
So since we mentioned him, let me mention this one.
Yeah.
Trisha Yearwood.
Yeah. Sweet Trisha. I guess I've been recording with her for a couple years now. And the first time I recorded with her, maybe longer than that, actually. I recorded on a project a long time ago. I just remember putting on the headphones and going, oh my goodness, it's that voice. And it was just pure perfection. And she's just as sweet as she can be, salt of the earth. So love working with her.
Last one, George Strait.
Well, the ultimate dream, especially as a fiddle player. Sadly, his fiddle player passed away last year, Gene Elders, a hero of mine. And to get that call to fill in those mighty big shoes was just a real honor. So, I just want to honor him as well. But George is just so sweet and is a gentleman. And when we play Amarillo by Morning, it brings me so much joy. And he says that that's his favorite song to perform. And for me, it's that as well. And sometimes he'll flash that smile and I wink at him. And I told him I'm going to have to get this eye replaced. Winking at him. but it is a true honor.
Oh, now, did I read this correctly? You are the first female ever nominated for CMA Musician of the Year.
That's right, yeah. Pretty wild. That was, I guess my first nomination was back in 2019. And I won it 5 consecutive years, which is wild. I can't even believe it. So yeah, that was an incredible ride, and I really hope that, growing up, I didn't know the session players. Like, there were TV shows that would show their faces. I would just see their name and credit. So I try to share my story and encourage young girls out there, and take them to lunch when I can. And I'm just glad there wasn't anyone growing up that said, "You're a girl and you're going to have problems doing this because this is a boys' world," because it tends to be in the session world. But I don't know. I just saw my dream and went after it. And I say the proof's in the picking, I guess, sometimes.
I like that.
Yeah.
Has it been easy?
Has it been easy? Oh, no. And I think looking back now, the road to getting to your dreams is never exactly the way you think it's going to happen. And actually, the road for me to get into session work was really through songwriting in a way, because 10, 15 years ago, when I really wanted to be a session player, there was not much fiddle on country radio. So I had to find other ways to be creative. I was touring, which was awesome, but I really dove into my songwriting craft. And through that, songwriters would see that I played the fiddle. I was a good fiddle player, and then they would have me on their session. So some way it all kind of wove back in. And then playing on John Pardee's music, that was really what kicked the doors down for me as far as being a session player.
Side note before we end, traveling with the fiddle has not been easy for you.
Oh man, you've really done your research. Okay. No, it is not.
So, share some of the difficulty
Yeah.
of you and your precious instrument getting on a plane.
Well, I was recently talking, actually today, to Tammy Rogers of the Steel Drivers, a dear friend of mine, and we were talking about the woes of this. I actually had someone from the Sun magazine or online source reach out to me because he had been hearing these stories. And I had gotten done with George Strait's rehearsals last year and was trying to get on an airplane. And they told me to step aside. I couldn't take my fiddle on the plane. I said, excuse me? My fiddle's 200 years old and my bow's 100-something years old. And I said, you can take this other bag and put it wherever. You put it on top of the plane, but you cannot put it's just too precious. I can't have it going under. And there's actually a law that says you're supposed to see if it's going to fit. Right. And I was there in plenty of time. But anyway, this article really got out there, and I figured I'd be a target at TSA. But anyway, I think I was just trying to help the situation for musicians, because it's been kind of a struggle, especially at the Nashville airport, sadly. But
of all airports?
Of all airports. But I know of so many people that their instruments have got broken, and they get dinged up and stuff. I saw a picture of a fiddle player friend of mine. He had to hold his violin the entire flight. And they took his case from him. So, yeah, please give us some grace with our little precious instruments.
Yikes. I mean, the age of your instrument.
Yeah. And, some people are like, well, why don't you carry something way cheaper? But, it's such a part of you. It's wild. After the tour with George Strait last year, he told me, he said, don't ever get rid of that fiddle. He loved the tone of it, as I do. I mean, that's why I played the thing. So you want to fly with your precious instruments, because it really is part of your sound.
Nice. Who have you not worked with yet that you're still dreaming of working with?
Some people that people might not expect. I am such a huge Bonnie Raitt fan. I really love her music, and to get to perform with her would be amazing. And James Taylor. I love James Taylor.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. And I did get to check off one of my people, Keb Mo. I got to work with him last year, I believe, and play on his record was a Grammy-winning album I got to play on. So that was a dream. I might have checked off just about everybody in country music,
Nice.
which is pretty wild.
That's nice.
But yeah, it's truly been a blessed journey. Yeah.
Be sure to check out Jenee's library of music. You can find it wherever you stream, purchase, or download your listening material. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's edition of Conversations from Studio 5 and making us your weekly destination for uplifting interviews with a strong focus on faith. For more of our Studio 5 interviews and lifestyle entertainment, be sure to visit our YouTube page. You can do that simply by searching Studio 5 with Efrem Graham. Hope you join me again right here next week on the podcast. Bye-bye, everybody.